to guess who's who. Still, so what follows is more of a non-standard form here. Here is more of a critical commentary and poems in between, poems and critical commentary in between. Well, and the render doesn't really allow you to bring any musical instruments for the standard price, so I'll just read. Okay, so we'll start with a little sci-fi. So Elon Musk umiera na Marsie, Elon Musk dies on Mars for Ania Adamowicz. By the way, I would like to thank the wonderful Rob Mangum for the translations. So, Elon Musk dies on Mars. There is no pain, there is the light of sympathetic LEDs and hours of gazing through an armored window, like watching Netflix in two separate rooms. One room is green, the other red, with no door from red to green. It's beautiful, the way so many things are missing. There is no pain, there is the light of sympathetic LEDs. There's a murmur, transmission wheels. It's Earth, your Earth, except it's not Earth, it's a view of Earth, like watching Netflix in two separate rooms with the same pair of eyes, while all eyes on Earth are looking at you. And what they see is peace, no pain, there's the light of sympathetic LEDs, and one gesture, an airlock release, a dutiful trip. Molecules pass through the cell membrane as if through an armored window, like millions of Netflix streams in as many separate rooms. And now the flowered cool muslin and the ribbon snoods are bootless, and Mars and the whir of transmission and rockets like silver tubes. There's no pain, there's the light of sympathetic LEDs, like watching Netflix in two separate rooms.
What is some of the reasons a poet might develop a fascination with the outer space, the cosmos? It might be, of course, the somewhat fashionable interest in the non-human, the post-human, various critics of the Anthropocene. Or maybe they see untapped potential in the exploration of sci-fi tropes within a poem, the clash of genres, the shaking up of conventions. Maybe. But perhaps there is something else in there too. The thought of the cosmos, the outer space, is not just external, but profoundly indifferent. The cosmos is the embodiment of every structure that remains independent of any subject position, indifferent to anything we may feel or think, or say, or create. The universe itself is a stand-in for states and stock markets, wars and weight relations, future and finance. The outer space is that which, not produced by how we see, cannot be abolished by simply seeing differently. Speaking to the entire universe is difficult to do. The thing that contains everything will always be indifferent.
Europe. Sometimes one is a dateline change, like a suspect idea on Senegalese servers, a fish dragged out of the air just like that. That's how one sometimes is. Sometimes one is a river, never an eye though. Someone else is an eye, it is always someone else. One is sometimes a thing in city gardens, and in hyperlinks on streets and in squares. In the Campo di Fiori, hashtag here. One is sometimes an ancient Greek who happens not to be Socrates because there are other things to do, like getting out into the streets. One is sometimes a memory, usually external memory, in fact a perfect memory, a small black flash drive whose most straightforward daemon says 0, 1. One is also sometimes the moment when techno dies, and yet something carries on, it hits, and it's not even music, it's a whole continent. Sometimes one is a dateline change, like a suspect idea on Senegalese servers, a fish dragged out of the air just like that, oh Europe choking, and something.
When someone is indifferent toward you, they're showing they don't care about you. caring it for others is an investment in others. When a man is indifferent to the signs of affection that other men show his lady, this is an alarming sign. He no longer wants to fight for her and doesn't want to try to become better to stay the best for her. When a woman is indifferent to her husband and turns to another man for love or sex, it directly questions the virility of the husband. When a man is indifferent about divine things, it is because he vainly imagines that he is wise. When your supervisor is indifferent, she may not effectively function in any of her roles. If this happens, you may need to take steps to maintain your optimism, as well as your career trajectory. In economics, an indifference curve connects points on a graph representing different quantities of two goods, points between which a consumer is indifferent.
Well, back to Mars, it seems, for a while. An extensive behavioral monitoring system is introduced in the colonies. The central module speaks. You will never know as much about yourselves as nothing knows about you, your infrared domains, whose borders are not that prehensile. To know as much about yourselves as nothing knows about you, you infrared kingdoms, you differentiable creatures in an invisible orbit, you just don't want to know. How much the network knows, and unless prompted it will not say, you caressed by 1,000 sensors, differentiable creatures in a calculated orbit, you will never remember. The network remembers and dreams. And what it dreams about, you calculable creatures, you will never know. You non-random creatures, all cradled in a swarm. And death, that's the last one. And death shall have no dominion. The dead and naked, like the living, at feet and elbow will bear stars. At foot and elbow will bear memes. At foot and elbow will bear pushing kitties. Will bear light, blue light of tablets, of monitors, smartphones, yellow light from screens with filters for blue. The light of YouTube covering over the eyes at night in bed, volumetric clocked light of arcade games in buses after work, and death shall have no dominion. And all Japanese 14-year-olds from Tumblr and all the 47 Latvian railway mechanics watching them at feet and elbow will bear stars. And a million aliens from 4chan dreaming of seasons, castles, quite other rainbows, and more powerful graphic cards. At feet and elbow will bear stars, and death shall have no dominion. And light fills, floods, blocks all 1,024 Pornhub server rooms, all 2,048 YouTube server rooms, and it changes every recording of an execution into a random video with a kitty in Ultra HD, and every recording of Jordan Peterson into an 11-hour Frank Sinatra cover album on hollowed out sweet potatoes, and the light fills, floods, and death shall have no dominion. And transformed will be all-day transmissions of marathons of mango breading, it's actually a thing, and all middle and high-ranking managers with Skype printed under their eyelids, dead and naked like memes, and light covers them, and light fills them, and light fills them at feet and elbows. They will bear light, and filters for blue will exist no more, and death shall have no dominion, and death shall have no dominion, and death shall have no dominion, apparently. Thank you.